morning, here is Developing Stories. My name is Remy Allen. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has warned political parties and candidates participating in the 2026 Ekiti governorship election against breach of campaign rules, particularly acts of hate speech, incitement, and misinformation. The electoral body issued the warning through the Ekiti State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Bumi Omoseyindemi, during a stakeholders meeting in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, vying to sanction any individual or parties found guilty. The commission also formally presented the final list of candidates cleared for the June 20, 2026 governorship election and announced the commencement of public campaigns. Omoseyindemi explained that INEC, working closely with security agencies and other stakeholders, would closely monitor rallies, processions, and other campaign activities across the state to ensure strict compliance with approved venues, routes, and timelines. According to him, political parties are required to notify security agencies and relevant authorities ahead of any rally or procession, while supporters and party agents must conduct themselves peacefully and responsibly throughout the campaign period. The REC also cautioned against violence, intimidation, and the destruction of opponents' lawful activities, describing such actions as threats to credible elections and the stability of the state. The federal government has revealed plans to increase contribution of Nigeria's livestock subsector to the nation's gross domestic product from $32 billion to over $74 billion within the next 10 years. The Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Maya, during a livestock stakeholders engagement in Ilorin, said the federal government was committed to repositioning the livestock sector as a major driver of food security, job creation, and economic growth. Maya noted that the ministry had developed a national livestock growth acceleration strategy to boost productivity and expand the sector's economic contribution, noting that open grazing and itinerant herding were no longer suitable and that ranching remained the most viable model for modern livestock production. He highlighted opportunities in the livestock sector, including beef production, poultry, dairy farming, micro-ruminants, and job creation, noting that while the sector had previously posed challenges to national development, it now has the potential to become a major economic asset. The federal government, through the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, has highlighted some of the incentives in the new tax laws aimed at boosting the manufacturing sector in Nigeria. Speaking at a stakeholders engagement with the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, Chairman of the Presidential Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, acknowledged that manufacturers grappled with multiple taxation, high tax burdens, and VAT compliance challenges under the old tax regime. Oyedele noted that manufacturers faced disproportionately higher effective tax rates due to a mix of legal and illegal levies imposed by state and non-state actors. He said manufacturers stand to gain from expanded input VAT claims on assets and services, reversed income bans, higher exemption thresholds, and a range of reliefs and allowances at reducing effective tax burdens. He added that other changes to support manufacturing include zero-rated supplies such as fertilizer, veterinary medicine, and animal feeds while VAT on petroleum products, renewable energy equipment, CNG, and LPG may be suspended by order of the Finance Minister. So from the federal the federal government has unveiled plans to reduce its dependence on borrowing, invest more in the country, and rely more on domestic resources. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, said this while speaking at the ongoing 56th World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, emphasizing the need to focus on revenue generation. He outlined the government's effort to raise tax revenue and strengthen fiscal sustainability amid mounting global economic pressures. According to him, President Bola Tinubu's administration, since taking office in 2023, has introduced several economic reforms to drive growth and stabilize public finances, including removing currency restrictions, ending the costly fuel subsidy, and overhauling the nation's tax framework. He noted that economic forecasts indicate Nigeria's reforms are showing early signs of progress, with the International Monetary Fund upgrading Nigeria's growth forecast to 4.4% for 2026, up from an estimated 4.2% in 2025, despite weaker oil prices. The Department of State Services, DSS, have moved to obtain a court order to keep former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, in custody as investigations into alleged terror financing continue. Security sources disclosed that the DSS considers the probe sensitive and complex, requiring extended detention to conclude its investigations. Malami was rearrested by DSS operatives on Monday shortly after perfecting his bail and regaining freedom from the Kuje Correctional Center in Abuja, where he had been held over allegations filed against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The former minister is facing trial alongside his wife, Asabe, and their son, alleged money laundering and conspiracy involving about 8.7 billion naira. And finally, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Kelvin Aneke, says acquisition of M346 fighter aircraft from Italy by the government will strengthen Nigeria's air power and deter an economic sabotage. Aneke made this known while engaging Leonardo Aircraft Division in Milan, Italy, on the M346 fighter ground attack aircraft program, pointing out that the Nigerian Air Force NAF is recording the program as a critical leap in renewing the NAF's combat capability, saying the platform will strengthen precision strike operations, improve training outcomes, and reinforce Nigeria's regional deterrence posture through careful synchronized aircraft delivery and seamless induction into operational service. And that's the news. Thanks so much for watching. Good morning.